Welcome back everyone, Michael here with Offshore Citizen. I did a video the other day on the FIRE movement, that is financial independence, retire early, and we got all kinds of people's comments around it. Today I'm going to make a case for you that if you're interested in that sort of model, that one of the best FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early hacks is going offshore. And if that's your goal, there's a strong reason to believe that provided that you can be location independent in terms of your income, you should do it. And this might just be a great idea to gain location independence on your income. So I'm going to discuss specific reasons why. Before I do, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, nail the notification bell, hit the all notifications. Really appreciate your support. And if you'd like help with setting yourself up or your business up internationally, optimizing your tax, setting up asset protection, getting residencies and getting second citizenships, forming companies, opening bank accounts, please reach out to me. You can book a call, calendly.com/Michael-Rosmer, link in the description below, or send us a message through our website, offshorecitizen.net, offshorecapitalist.com. Okay, so basically, if I were going to go down this path of the FIRE movement, which I've talked about in a previous video, the idea is financial independence, retire early. Big part of this is reducing your spending to increase your savings rate so you have more money to invest so that you can get ahead. And then in the long run, of course, having lower cost of living allows you to lower that number that you need to save towards, which is positive. Now, this principle, of course, applies to people all across the board, not just people who are in the FIRE movement. You can benefit accordingly. But especially if that's your goal, this is worthwhile. And why is that? I think principally two reasons that could play out. Number one, cost of living. Very good chance that the country that you're living in is much more expensive than, for example, Bulgaria, where I am today. If you go to some of these countries, maybe it's Thailand, maybe it's Malaysia, maybe it's Vietnam, maybe it's Nicaragua, maybe it's, any of these places, generally speaking, the cost of living is quite a bit lower than France, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Australia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so that is, a good thing if we're wanting to reduce our costs, because it means that our amount of savings are going down now, or going up, sorry. Now, of course, if you're relying on the local job market, that's bad, right? It's not going to be the case. But whereas, somebody might reduce their costs in the US to, $1,000 a month for their apartment, in Bulgaria, they can probably reduce their costs for an apartment down to $300 a month or something like that, right? Food, typically less, public transit, typically less, et cetera, et cetera. So that's very useful. Second, you can almost certainly reduce your taxes quite a bit. And remember, for a lot of people, taxes are their biggest expense or one of their biggest expenses. This would go for Americans as well when you're talking about this type of thing, right? For example, generally, if you're an American, you're willing to go live abroad, up to just under $110,000 a year, you can be claimed for the foreign earned income exclusion. And, that's tax-free money from an American standpoint that hard to beat that. You can't go to some other state, et cetera. That's earned income. And you may be taxed in the country that you're living in, but there's some things you can do to plan around it. So both if you're going to be from somewhere else aside from the US, or if you're an American, you can save taxes almost certainly. To give some example, again, I'm here in Bulgaria, flat tax rate 10%, 5% on dividends. Realistically, you can set it up to pay about 7.5%. So that's pretty good, right? Pretty good compared to what you would likely pay in your home country. Other countries, you could have, Montenegro, 9%. You could go to someplace like, UAE, 0%. Again, depending on what it is, maybe you're in Cyprus and you're getting 0%. Now, UAE, the cost of living is going to be higher, so maybe that doesn't work out quite so well for you. Malaysia, some of these places, what you can do is you can end up running money through a company and getting dividends and paying lower. By the way, this is another thing. Some people will sometimes mention, hey, listen, there's these high socials. Well, often if you can run money through a company and then get dividends, you can save on those socials. Again, this is all money that you can save. It reduces your cost of living. And that's money you can pour into in your investments, which gets you ahead quicker. So for these two reasons, lower cost of living and lower taxes, I think it's almost certainly ideal as like the ultimate easy hack for people who are willing to do it and who are able to from a location independent income standpoint, if one of your goals is this FIRE movement thing. So anyway, That's just a little thought. I would love to hear what you have to say. Again, put them in the comments below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If not, please tell me why. I would love to hear. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you on the next video.